Blaber with the Olaf, man. You've got to make sure you
pay that Blaber tax.
That one, exactly.
I will say, if they are focusing on bottom lane for both of these AD carries, I feel like right now in the triumvirate of AD carry bottom lane picks, Caitlyn, Jinx, and Aphelios, that is, the Jinx, when Caitlyn is banned all the time, the Jinx really reigns supreme for me. Already, Luger had 2 extremely hard carry games on it for CLG, and when you look at this CLG lineup, Palafox even talked about it. We're all super aggressive. We make some crazy plays. Yeah, we've overstepped sometimes.
Yeah.
If you can get the Jinx, which are hovering right now for Luger, that gives me so much more confidence for their late game. Because even if people are going crazy for some kills and stuff, you can get him a reset, and he can really carry those late game team fights for you. So I think that's a really good pick. Try and secure that for the bottom lane early on. Does mean that Zven is going to have some more options, later on into it. The Aphelios obviously is still available, so they could go, Thresh Aphelios, something like that. Assuming that Jinx gets an enchanter with her, like the Lulu.
Right.
Although you can play Jinx just as well with, a Leona and go for, trying to CC lock people.
Well, Cloud9 start off their own draft with Corki. Lots of power there. We've seen a ton of him throughout lock-in so far. They're going to complement it with an Ezreal for even further powerful poke, and Karma would make a lot of sense paired with them. We know how effective those two can be together as a poking duo, or they might go for this. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, it would secure some supremacy for top lane, if you lock in Renekton early on, but they're just going all poke.
Yep.
This is a giant flashing billboard on the top of C9 draft. Guess what? Hard poke team, all range in the first 3 picks. There are a couple aberrations here. It's not very frequent where we have had people early pick their solo lanes. So when you do that, you do leave your jungle pick open. I'm expecting CLG, you should just double ban jungle right now because you have Jarvan, ban Xin Zhao Lee Sin. If you take away both of those, you further push down Blaber. You already banned away the Olaf. And I feel like that is one of the primary members for Cloud9 that you want to keep down to keep some of that playmaking away. And that would allow and open up CLG's, real game plan of these younger academy players not finally getting their chance here. The Academy All-Star team basically getting promoted to the LCS to go with their own playstyle and have them try and dictate the game.
Well, we do see the Enchanter locked in next to the Jinx here, so it'll be Lulu Jinx bottom lane for the side of CLG. The Xin Zhao is banned away exactly like we were hoping for. Want to point out, too, along with those 2 carries in the Corki and the Ezreal being picked, they both have an escape mechanism from the Cataclysm of the Jarvan. So that's one thing I'll be watching Contractz for throughout this game, seeing how valuable those Cataclysms can be, because right now, Karma's the only one who actually gets stuck.
Yeah, and, racking up kills on the support when support's trying to go get warding is a viable strategy sometimes to be able to go do that, but like you're saying, those are 2 of the safer late game carries. It is still worth ganking Corki and forcing Corki's Valkyrie very often because it actually further weakens the lane phase. This is a champion that already does not have a powerful lane phase, and it's 100 mana every time you cast Valkyrie. So it's actually still rewarding for junglers to give off these kind of like pressure gaining ganks towards this champion to further try and delay the scaling, because the scaling is massive and it's undeniable. Even though Fudge has not played Corki yet, and he has had those 3 Victor games, he's been sticking to that side of the very meta, mid lane AP carry scaling for late. Now we're gonna see his hand in the pilot seat here for Corki. There's a Kennen actually though, so we get another Jenkins ban.
A lot of focus
another
on
Jenkins ban. He was originally, Kennen almost one-trick levels at the very origins of his career, but they spread a lot of bans over him, and he's still got counterpick here as Cloud9 will have to reveal their top side as well as jungle. I'm most curious about what jungle Blaber will go for here, since all of the meta's been covered, as we kind of expected there with CLG, Lee Sin, Xin Zhao ban, out and the Poppy. All right, there's only great counter there is like a Jarvan flag and drag. Not any other dashes to be able to really interrupt, but Poppy is still a good kind of bodyguard style champion. And guess what? You get Darshan on what he's been shining on. The tanks flowers, the beefy boys in front.
Oh, baby, we got a strong front line with top Sion and jungle Poppy here, but what is CLG gonna pick for their own top laner? Yes, they have Jarvan to be the meatball, but is anybody else gonna accompany him? No, it'll be Gangplank.
What do we name? The 4 Jenkins champions. They all show up in Champ Select here. He picks the last one available, the Gangplank. And I was thinking more on the lines of when you faced a team, Cloud9 opened up their draft with a very clear, look, all our carries are poke. We are literally a poke team shown in the first half of draft. You would think CLG would go super hard engage, right? Because that is the classic way to try and crack poke teams. But having seen the front line that Cloud9 then supplemented their team comp with, having the versatility of a side lane there with Gangplank, and still being able to close some distance with Gangplank ultimates, the slow actually goes a long way in enabling Jarvan to have better engagements there. Plus, it's a super high comfort champion for Jenkins himself. So do like how they kind of merge the two, thinking about the overall direction for the team as well as some specific players.
Well, here we go. We're out onto Summoner's Rift. Let's see how it goes down. Cloud9 versus CLG, a best of 3 to decide who gets to go forward and play in the last of lock-in next weekend. It's only one more weekend of this last
tournament flies by.
Yeah.
We're going to get right to the LCS proper in a couple weeks here. Lock-in definitely has been extremely exciting, though, and Cloud9, one of the rosters with a lot of, unexpected pieces, as a lot of pieces still left in Korea. So, trying to figure out how is Fudge going to do in mid lane. It looks like, so far, I would say he's got definitely passing grades for a lot of the Victor play that he's shown. He had the one Jace game, so you get a little leakage of top lane.
Yeah, a little bit
there. But now he's going to try his hand at the other scaling mid lane pick, and we'll judge him accordingly.
I'm kind of excited to see how Blaber decides to play the Poppy here in the jungle, because when you look at Poppy, traditionally you think tank, but a lot of times in solo queue, you'll see these aggressive Chad Poppy builds.
And you traditionally think Predator, because Predator allows Poppy to have those successful ganks where you can get into position to get your wallbang off. But when you run the phase rush, it doesn't help you get into position to pull off the wallbang. It
helps you get out.
Helps you get out, or helps you reposition once you're already fighting and you're in the midst of the team fight. So it's a very, very different rune. Even though it also gives you move speed, because it's not preemptive, it doesn't have the same aggressive factor that Predator does for a lot of early jungle poppies, especially poppies that you'll see in solo queue, trying to spam those ganks.
So one thing I do want to point out is because of some early level 1 trading, both of our AD carries no longer have their heal cooldown available. So without that summoner spell around, we could see some early jungle aggro down here with the potential for the kills being higher than normal.
And while I do love the Lulu pairing with Jinx, as we said, that is, kind of premier pairing with Jinx for really strong mid-game carrying from that duo. It is a worse lane than a lot of the other enchanters early on, but they're blasting forward with it. Sven's gonna have to run.
Zven gets out of there, but with only 100 HP, CLG jumping in.
And that's what you like to see, Flowers. This team, this CLG team, is so exciting to watch. And this bottom lane, Luger and Poome, they've played together the entire time that Luger has been in North America. Over a year of experience together, even though the CLG roster was kind of put together from the far corners of the Academy landscape. Yeah. This duo came as a package, and they've worked through a lot of Academy games and learnings and have built their synergy for aggressive moments. Now, that being said, offensively blown summoners are punished just as easily as defensively blown ones, and they actually came out one summoner the worst. So all junglers have been attracted to the bottom side of the map. Blaber there charges in early, and Zven's going to be able to arcane shift out.
Yeah, Zven's still safe, but he doesn't have a lot of HP to work with if the fight goes further. But a nice little bit of combo damage here. Contractz, what are you doing, buddy? First blood, Cloud9.
I just got to echo that sentiment. That is that's a facepalm right there. Gets so close to the Poppy, and then, as we said, this is the one dash on the team that Blaber is looking to interrupt. He just turns on the W. Great and fairly easy reaction there for Blaber. Knocks him out of it, and they get their first blood on the side of Cloud9. They also get the Scuttle Crab, which has turned the Crabber meme into a positive meme nowadays, because we've actually in Lock-in seen Cloud9 win many crab fights in Bottom River, resulting in benefits for the team. Crabber has joined the C9 side. It's now a benefit to them, and he's moved all the way up to the top side for another one.
And he gets the flash for the angle, for the play, and Blaber is responsible for both assassinations here for Cloud9.
C9 Crabber! C9 Crabber! C9 Crabber! He's coming for a double crab, double gank on both sides, and double kills! Are you kidding me? 2 kills in the hands of Blaber on the Poppy pick. What do you mean, no Predator? I don't care. Just walks right into these, and his phase rush means if you flash for the initiation like that, you can just proc the phase rush. You'll definitely stick on him. He knows he gets the knockback. That distance means Jenkins is toast. He had no flash, so well done for the setup from Darshan, but Blaber's the one that's going to reap the rewards on both sides of the map.
And I really like, too, you can look at the side of the UI and see that he has Hex Flash. I love this for Poppy because it means he can go over the terrain and set up angles even when he doesn't have the flash to use directly.
And, you know, especially when you're fed, you can go for, you know, invades into the enemy jungle, but also you can snipe objectives. You can just Hex Flash over the back of either Baron Pit or Dragon Pit and try and get that Rift Tail, try and get that Dragon. So a lot of options here open to the champion. And Poppy is very robust if you get an early lead like this. Very strong base stats, so hand-to-hand fighting is definitely easy for Poppy to come out ahead. And with the early gold, it means you can force a lot more towards the neutral objectives than otherwise you would think, because this Cloud9, you know, we've got tremendous scaling in mid lane. Fudge probably not going to be, you know, a big power point there, getting, you know, pushed towards the tower, and yet they still are going to have a lot of control. 1.5 thousand gold lead already for Cloud9, and Blaber's back out to it. No flash on Jenkins.
Done yet.
Phase rush.
Jenkins is trying to get away, but it's hammer time, baby. Darshan's getting that one, and Cloud9's making this look too easy. Not even Cloud9, Blaber is making this look too easy.
I gotta give credit to the rest of the team, and especially to Darshan for his 2 on top side, because, you know, him getting the flash out of Jenkins, and, well, we might have an attempt at an answer down here from Contractz. CLG, they need to come to life, okay?
Yeah.
It's a big double-stacked wave, so it's an opportunity to try and force on this objective they've created themselves. You just got to execute.
Here we go. They're going to put the damage onto Contractz first, who goes right back in. The kill on Zven is good. Poome stays alive too. Isles trying to escape, survives with 10 HP, tries to get out, but the man is still running. It won't happen. CLG gets both. Nice dive.
That is the life that we need to see to keep this match competitive, Flowers, because Blaber and Cloud9 were running away with it, but that was very well juggled tower aggro by the CLG members. You see Contractz go in right after they have a ranged member take the tower aggro, then they juggle it back out. Poome drops it, Luger picks it up for 2, and they allow Contractz to walk back in for the extra kill there. So very well juggled, and also very well thought out plan as far as getting vision on Blaber first, knowing that he's on top side, he's not going to be able to answer, having the double stacked wave ready. Contractz times it perfectly, so he arrives just as the double stacked wave is going into tower. So here we see, he takes 1 shot, goes out of tower range, back in as Poome has the aggro. Poome takes 2, walks out of range, then Luger will take his 2. Everybody doing their part, Flowers.
Team effort.
And they hand it off to Contractz. He'll use from Luger for good measure as well. Auto Q, and they finish it up nicely. So that will result in more money in this Jinx where they need it. As we said from Temp Select, this Luger, this Jinx, this is the late game insurance that they need, that they have to be able to count on. He's the one that gets those resets and is going to bring it home.
And as we've seen action in bottom lane and top lane so far, mid lane's the one without any PvP, but it's Palafox coming out on top in the PvE. 2 waves ahead of his opponent in Fudge right now on that Corki. He's just hanging out underneath the turret right now. Blaber's already moved himself over towards this Scuttle Crab. Well, not gigantic Scuttle Crab, I guess. Rift Herald. Sometimes we all get a little bit confused. Yeah, alien Scuttle Crab. He'll be picking that one up, and it looks like Fudge is ready for a bit of a package delivery. Jenkins is just getting bullied.
Jenkins is literally just having the worst time ever playing League of Legends.
Yeah.
If you can call it playing League of Legends anymore, that is rough, man. That is the top laner treatment.
Oh, if this is a top laner in solo queue, he's not even playing League of Legends anymore. He's playing Microsoft Word. You're just typing to the team nonstop.
This man has a tier and a call with 26 CS, Flowers. Holy moly!
He's got 2,000 gold. Is he poorer than both supports? Yes.
Oh,
yes,
God.
he's poorer than both supports
my God.
on this map. He has less than half, or slightly over half of the money.
You've got to have titanium mental now as a top laner in this situation. Wait. Holy guacamole.
What was that stupid made-up material that was in that Avatar Blue alien? Unobtainium. You gotta have that. That's the stupidest name in the world, but you gotta have that to survive this.
Obtain the unobtainable.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, man, that is tough.
He's gonna have to meditate in the mountains in his retreat because it is painful. And for Contractz and for the rest of CLG, you honestly, in those types of situations, you don't get a lot out of trying to bail out Jenkins. So this is one of those times where you mute top laner and focus on bottom side. Exactly. You tell him, GL, HF.
See you at 20.
We're going to go for bottom lane objectives. They get themselves at least a dragon, and they need to focus on continuing to gank for Luger, continuing to gank for this Jinx. The Gangplank is not going to salvage this game for you, honestly. Yeah, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I think Jenkins knows this. At least he's got his flash now. He's going to even know it himself and try and give his ultimates for team plays. Contractz currently is actually doing Krug, so they know that now is not the time to further beat up on him. But look at that, even under tower, the disrespect from Darshan. Shield explosion on Jenkins. He then goes in to harass the jungler.
He's just gonna 1v2 them.
He's a monster.
He's gonna 1v2 these guys. Contractz tries to walk back away. He's got 300 health. Blaber's ready to go over the wall if he has to. What on earth, man?
Oh my God, brutal up here. Darshan the Colossus himself coming from Academy. So much time put in by him. And guess what?
No. Oh, no,
here.
Not again. They won't get the kill immediately, but they'll still get it. Jenkins, I'm sorry, buddy.
Build a statue to Darshan in the top lane right now. The Sion Colossus.
They can build it out of all the tombstones Jenkins has.
Oh, jeez.
Good Lord.
Recycle, reuse.
Yeah. We're all about conservation and protecting the environment here in the LCS.
Yeah, well, Jenkins is certainly fertilizing the grass up there.
All right, it's a tough game in the top lane with the amount of focus been put up here by Blaber. And not only that, they're gonna knock down the
Fudge
turret
up there too
with the Rift Herald. Yeah, everybody's making sure they're ready to go. They know that Jenkins is the big glowing red spot on the boss that they want to attack here in this battle. They banned 3 out of 4 of his champions during the draft. They put him on Gangplank, and then they attacked Gangplank directly. Cloud9 had a plan for this.
They certainly did. Light up the eyes, that's for sure. You know where to strike. Honestly, it's really easy to go over the path forward here for Cloud9. You've already, pre-12.5 minutes, took down the entire top side of the map. Yes, CLG have 1 dragon. But they are not going to have the items to be able to fight consecutive dragon fights because you can easily push out topside. Darshan literally 1v2'd already, so he...
Oh, no!
Yeah,
he gave him the thumbs up because he knew he had the trap set in the brush, and Fudge is just ready to go.
Fudge said, you know what? I'm losing to CS to Palafox early on in the mid lane, so I'm going to go back home. Top lane feels nice. Hey, Jenkins, he makes 2 visits up there. He gets 2 kills off of top lane.
Like when Michael Jordan went to play baseball for a year and then he went back to basketball. Just like, you know, sometimes you just got to go where it feels right. Blaber's coming in mid lane. He's going to look for Poome. True Shot Barrage found him, but do they have the damage they need? Not quite for the second part of the queue. Cloud9 chases them all away, but no kill.
Poome gang stays alive. Self-ultimate, shields for Palafox, no problem. These are the games where you start to see players get a little loose.
Yep.
I have to say. Now, remember to refocus here at Cloud9. This is a best of series. This is also, you know, well into lock-in tournament. Next weekend is the end of it. So keep up the focus. Finish this one out. You only have 2.5k gold lead.
Oh no, not again.
Dirt again.
Observers, would you mind after this fight? Hold on, let's see if this goes anywhere. Blaber's trying to contest for this. Contractz is going to get the red buff, but will he be able to get away? Darshan coming around from the side, takes the blast cone, looks for the chance to go in for the knockup, forces the flash out of Poome. Darshan, yeah, he's stuck on the front line, taking a couple of shots, but it doesn't matter a whole lot here. Fudge does get tagged, gets out of the way of the Super Mega Death Rocket, as Luger's going to take some damage now. Blaber back over the wall, assassinate Palafox. Blaber gets away, but no, Jenkins' revenge comes falling from the sky as Isles is taken down by a rocket in flight. And finally, CLG is able to strike back.
The CLG bottom lane breathes new life into this team. Flowers, they even allowed Jenkins from the fountain to be able to pick up a kill. He's back in the game, baby. CLG bottom lane. They opened up an opportunity. 2 kills back for CLG and a tower. Gold split a little bit there with Poome, but they needed him for safety. Again, everybody here, the faithful are all praying. They're all putting their prayers and their faith into Luger, into the bottom lane. Palafox has also been delivering, CSing quite nicely there, kind of unbeknownst to the crowd because camera has so often been on junglers and top lane. But this is still the hope for CLG. They got to remain focused. They muted Jenkins a long time ago, so it's fine. It's brutal. Darshan is having a field day up there in the top side. Him with the rest of the team. But CLG, I love to see this. They're willing to deal with the gangrene that's grown up there. You cut off the limb that's dying. You go for the other side of the map, stack those dragons, get some kills back in mid lane with a kind of a deep reach there from C9. They chopped 1,000 gold off the gold lead Flowers and have 2 dragons to show for it.
It is, it's exactly what CLG needed to get right there. And I do want to go ahead and comment, like the last time we saw the gold on the side of the screen, Jenkins actually had a little bit more gold than Zven. So he's caught up from that shutdown. He was able to claw his way back in a little bit. Yeah, his CS still looks like trash.
That call is about to pop though, baby.
Yeah,
24.
The call's gonna pop. You still get extra parlay money from killing stuff with your Q. He's gonna have a power spike here as soon as he completes his Muramana because he already fully stacked his tier. Maybe it's redeemable.
I feel like we should make an infomercial for all the ways to make passive income with Gangplank, one of those late night TV advertisements.
Fudge going in, here in mid, they're looking for the damage they need, and it's Luger first. Contractz and Poome both get away. True Shot Barrage will find a little bit of extra damage, but Cloud9 shut down that hyper carry, and that's exactly what they wanted to do. Rift Herald number 2 of this game summoned up here under the tier 1 turret, but Darshan's underneath the tier 2. They're going in for Contractz. Wild Growth to keep him alive. Blaber stuck inside the pit. Blaber ends up trading his life 1-for-1 with the enemy jungler. Auto attack in the air takes down Jenkins again, and everybody except Poome and Palafox are dead on the side of CLG.
As soon as Darshan smells the game starting to drift away from Cloud9, he just rams it right through. I am not losing this game after what I did in top lane. They get these tower 4, but Palafox flank on Orianna. Definitely a little bit dangerous. Nobody else is even close.
This is a little wacky from Palafox. He's
so remember that interview he gave before where he was like, "Oh yeah, we're all so aggressive. We go for these plays." That was one of those plays. Definitely an aspirational play where you can see, you can visualize the big YouTube montage, but it's really hard to pull off 1v.
Yeah, those can be tough.
So,
those can be tough.
Especially with Orianna, who's not like a point-and-click champion. Moving your ball around and trying to hit a shockwave or something on these mobile champions. Fudge actually had Valkyrie available, and he was the only low health one.
Yeah, Fudge was obviously the target, right? That's what he wanted. You saw him throw the ball into the brush. He was hoping maybe Fudge was trying to go for a greedy recall in the river or something.
Yeah, and what they're thinking, getting into the mind there, is they're trying to create their own comebacks here.
Yeah.
That's what also allowed CLG kind of that success around the earlier play around mid lane, being able to fight it out. The problem this time around is that their hero, Luger, had just gotten picked off. So once Luger gets picked off in mid lane early on, and then they get pushed all the way to their inhibitor tower, then they start to reach a little bit. So I still like, the mentality that this new CLG has. They do need to trim a couple of these plays on the outskirts that they've been going for, the super low, probability ones. But I definitely still admire the heart.
Well, a lot of stuff is coming online right now. Muramana, fully completed for both the Corki and the Ezreal. You want to talk about a poke composition? There's the power spike they're looking for. Force of Nature, now done for Blaber as well, which a little bit strange considering really only the Orianna is the big AP threat on the enemy team. But hey, he's pretty much immune to the Orianna now.
Yeah, and you also get stacks on being CC'd, so it's with the recent buff, definitely a bit more efficient. So I'm a fan of it if there's a decent amount of CC, and yeah, you're looking at 2 main threats in the Jinx and the Orianna, Jenkins might be able to grow into a threat.
Jenkins got his Muramana. He's actually on 2 items.
He cast the Colin and sold the Cull, so.
He has the same itemization that Zven does. So he's really not behind despite how bad his score might look.
There you go. All that money all paid off. The hustle, the Gangplank hustle, the passive income, earning from home, baby.
Sigma Gangplank grind set. Just stay up in lane, farm up your Silver Serpents, get that parlay money, and make sure that you're going to be around to drop them big ultis on the team.
He's in his lane, moisturized, flourishing. Nobody's up there. He's farming away, cashing in on the extra gold. Doesn't stick around for the extra tower damage because he's got to get back to defend with the team. Oh, actually, does not recall. He stays up there. They're deciding right now on no vision. Hey, I think that the rest of Cloud9 will stick for this dragon.
Yep.
If we can trade top tower gold for this dragon, that's what they're waiting to get a little bit of information to confirm. Hey, Jenkins, stay up there, take that tower, because trades are what you want if you're in the CLG court right now.
And their early decisions that got them these couple of Drakes means that they can take these trades comfortably, right? Yeah. This is Cloud9's first Drake of the game. They're nowhere close to the soul. It doesn't matter too much for CLG to give that one away. The only part that hurts about it is losing your own soul point, but let's face it, you're not contesting these guys in open ground.
Eyes on the prize, Jenkins. Yeah, he got beaten up early, but it's not about how hard you get knocked out in flowers. It's about muting your teammates so that you can have the mental.
I thought you were going to do the actual speech.
No. Yeah, that's too cliche.
Yeah.
You gotta have the league adaptation.
Yeah, you got me with the curveball there. You got me with the curveball. I'll give you that. But we got everybody on Cloud9 now, probably ready to rumble. We got Unleashed teleports on all 4 solo laners in this game, ready to TP, ready to go. No Drake live on the map. You can see Cloud9 sending players up towards this top half, getting some vision down around the Baron pit. With a Corki and an Ezreal, they could do this pretty swiftly.
They certainly can, so can't let your vision lapse. Good job by the observers with the vision toggle. Really do quick shout out. I think they've been on point with these all lock-in tournament, by the way. Really like the one in the previous day about the Baron pit vision coverage. Meanwhile, it is going to be that Baron pit fully covered by Cloud9. They should have full supremacy here. They also have, again, so much range with Ezreal, Corki, Poke that it's very easy to 4-1 push up, land poke damage as CLG try and check and try and gain some safety and vision up around the Baron. And you should be able to soften up CLG enough that when the engagement does come, Gangplank Ultimate plus Jarvan, that you are fully ready to respond. Also, Darshan has Unleashed Teleport ready to join. And as you know, he currently is the god of this game.
Yep, Darshan's feeling good. He's feeling comfortable. The rest of Cloud9, they're sitting down as much vision as they can while sweeping out everything they can find. CLG has to be so cautious walking into this fog because if they walk into the wrong brush or the wrong spot, things are going to get real nasty real quick. There they find another ward they're able to sweep away. Jenkins will continue farming up here across the map, doing whatever he can to try and catch up and be that big carry he needs to be. Teleport coming in now with a Corki package. Here comes that Baron attempt I was talking about a minute ago. Fudge having the package means they have extra resources to be able to try to go for this. Gangplank ulti has already been called down. You can see Cloud9 backing away from that aggro zone here at the start, and now they're ready to turn in for the fight. Here comes Darshan. Contractz gets himself away. Jenkins going to be separated from the rest of the team. Contractz with the full disengage. Cloud9, no more Baron. CLG stopped it for now.
Yeah, good scatter here from CLG. They don't lose anyone on the way out, and that's going to buy them some time. You just need to stall here. Everybody's still scaling nicely. You've got Jenkins actually starting to bring some firepower. He walked up from bottom side, did not use his teleport, so no extra cooldowns used there in the contest. Contractz being able to dodge away, just EQ out of that one and use the extra speed Poome gave him from Lulu to be able to dodge on the rocket. Means that CLG will buy themselves a little bit more leeway here. Again, we're only approaching 24 minutes, so still quite early in the game, just because of how early Cloud9 opened it up with constant Blaber ganks, first on the bottom side, but then largely focused around top side, followed by the Fudge roams up there, giving them a lot of this map control. CLG doing their best, and it actually goes to show that they actually don't even have gold bounties with how much they've been able to trade and play this kind of guerrilla warfare style, getting things back on the opposite sides of the map and sticking in this game.
Well, there is a Ravenous Hydra now completed for Fudge, so the extra pushing power, the extra wave shoving capability and map control that's going to afford them means that Cloud9 will continue to be able to move forward, choke CLG out of Summoner's Rift, and constantly look for chances to make these picks and find this poke. Zven and Blaber shoving up the wave in bottom lane looking for the tier 2. They'll inflict a decent amount of damage, but Cloud9's now at the point where after they take this tier 2, the only other thing left on the map is the base of CLG, and typically those bases, nice barrel, good lord!
Remember me? Jenkins has been farming away. He's ready to retaliate. Imagine, Flowers, if you have a barrel chain like that softening up this backline, the patented Jarvan Orianna EQ Shockwave comes in from Contractz plus Palafox passing him the ball. This is still a very fearsome opening for CLG, so them being able to stick in this game, keep the goal difference within reach, as long as they can also sustain their vision coverage around these objectives to allow them positioning to pull off one of these plays, the hope is still alive for their side. C9, though, should not let any dragons ever go back the way of CLG. This objective is trivial almost for them to take because there's no risk in starting it. It will not do any damage because it can't get through either the shield of Blaber or Darshan.
Right.
So you can easily always go right over to that on spawn. They also had plenty of vision coverage through the blue quadrant of the jungle, and CLG aren't willing to invest any of their resources, their precious vision resources on this side of the map because Baron is so important and it could be game ending for them if Cloud9 got it. So all the dragons should be very, very easy for C9 to just go grab and pick up and then turn towards the real objective that is the top side of the map around Baron.
Plus, these are Infernal Dragons and an Infernal Soul with a poke composition of Ezreal and Corki. If Cloud9 gets to that point, if this game does go late, like you're saying CLG wants it to with their Jinx, with their Gangplank, with these hyper carries, they're still going to have to contest what is most likely an Infernal Soul Cloud9 coming up as they continue to have control over these neutral points.
And the poke already hurts. Like, Fudge is 5 kills here on the Corki. Yeah, he was down a bit of CS early on, but that CS difference never widened. He's able to pick up plenty and so many of these last hits for these kills. So he's already getting magic penetration as well. So even some of the frontline members, you know, you land rockets. Oh, Contractz tries to tank one for the team. He's literally the only tanky member. He actually doesn't even have any magic resist. So everybody will feel the pain from the rockets. This is Corki dream scenario. Honestly, actually, since there isn't any magic resist, Shadow Flame, you can make the argument for Shadow Flame instead of you know, pieces here for Void, but we're gonna have Baron started up regardless.
Now Poome's nearby. He doesn't want to walk any closer until the rest of the team's in position too. Darshan's just providing a distraction up here around the Tri-Brush, but the Gangplank ulti is going to be used and called down on the pit. Darshan tanking up 4 different players from CLG. He doesn't walk back into the Chompers because the only way to go is forward. Chompers will finally disarm now. Contractz goes in. Darshan just now hitting half HP, but a massive shockwave. Fudge destroys Luger in the counterpunch. Contractz goes in only to die. That was not the right call. Zven takes him down, and Darshan just keeps the pedal to the metal going forward. Jenkins tries to stay and fight, but he gets shoved right on back for a double kill over to Zven. Poome and Palafox try to retreat, but the Baron and the fight go over to Cloud9.
That's going to be Cloud9 with the Baron, and you know what? With that Baron pushing power, they can go right into the CLG base. Did you see that Corki burst damage? This is why the champion is so contested in the current state of the game, why everybody keeps building this AP Corki. They literally tanked the shockwave with, was it 5? It was all 5 or 4? It's either 4 or 5. Looks like everybody, unless Darshan isn't there. And even tanking the shockwave, Fudge just getting off the look at that, that was a big one. Chunks their backline to 50%, literally, and then even getting hit by the shockwave, another rocket. That was only just 2 rockets.
2 rockets killed him, 100-0.
2 rockets, and the hope of your team is dead. The heart of the CLG squad. That is, that's some gameplay right there, buddy. Don't get hit.
Yes, sir.
Don't get hit.
And you were pointing out how there's not even any magic resistance on the front line here in the Jarvan. Everybody's going to be taking those kind of hits. And even if Jarvan does try to soak him, Poppy has a yeet button versus one frontline comp.
The magic resist just comes from Palafox's ball for Orianna. So
okay, that's
whoever
the
he can
ball
pass the
is
ball
the
to,
MR.
Whoever you can pass the ball to.
Pass me the ball.
Exactly.
All right, Cloud9, they got the 4-1 split. Darshan's happy to be this big rock in the side lane, or rather the mid lane while everybody else focuses bottom here. And Cloud9 has already broken their first tier 3 turret of the game. They're going to continue pushing forward here to grab the inhib. Fudge and Zven will have no problem picking that one up. One last auto attack gets it done. Mid lane tier 3 only has a sliver of HP remaining. Fudge and Zven continue to step forward towards that one too, waiting on Darshan to clear out the wave, but now it doesn't even matter. Backdoor protection or not, that turret's out of here. As CLG is trying to hold on, trying to defend. Darshan steps forward, he doesn't care about none of that. There comes another rocket going out. Darshan going in and just runs him over. Road kill.
I know it shouldn't be that funny, but like these rockets taking 50% of people's lives, and Darshan.
It's real funny when they're not hitting you.
Yeah,
Contractz goes in. He's going to be stuck now inside his own Cataclysm, but Isles will be taken down with him. 1-for-1 trade there. Darshan finds a knock-up on the enemy support. Cloud9 backing away as Luger goes in, looking for a little bit more, but Zven decides to go aggro. Blaber charges in now, looking for Palafox. Everybody on CLG below half health. They're backing away. Fudge decides to recall Baron Empowered, of course, and he'll be right back in with the Empowered teleport. Zven unstoppable with a good hit onto Luger. Only Palafox and Poome still standing. Teleport's coming back in. Cloud9 get it done in game 1. They're going to pad those stats as far as they can. Thumbs up all day long from the lane camp to the Nexus explosion. C9 take game 1.
Now, synopsis for C9 for the majority of lock-in games, they have invested very heavily into a lot of very strong scaling avenues for them, regardless of what early game tools they get. And that focus has not wavered. It just looks so crazy when they also have early game success. When Blaber literally double crabs and double successfully ganks both sides of the map as Poppy with phase rush early on. And then you also still have so much range and poke power with Corki Ezreal for later on. And Darshan, your front line, just gets out of control because of the repeat movements from Blaber, from Fudge as well, up to the top side. It looks like a super dominating, 30-minute sweep. But these core tenets that Cloud9 have still focused on in never going into game with a draft that doesn't have some sort of scaling for late game, some sort of avenue to play for later, is probably going to remain true. And then if you play well in the early game like that, just makes it an easy road to get there.
The big thing that stood out to me is what you were talking about in draft. Jenkins has this small collective of these 4 champions he really likes to play, ban 3 of them, force the 4th, and hey, we got a present for him, or about 8 presents. Surprise, they're all a gank. It was not a good time for CLG here in game 1. Cloud9 made quick work of them, and the State Farm Analyst Desk is going to show us